essential to get people back to work. She said the new initiative represents a more pinpointed approach.
This is an NBC News Radio special report, the coronavirus. President Trump confirms that his administration is calling for what he says is a big and bold economic stimulus proposal to deal with the economic impact of the coronavirus. This is Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin.
We look forward to having bipartisan support to pass this legislation very quickly.
Mnuchin suggests that the aim is to flood the struggling economy with money. The Senate's number 2 Republican says his chamber will likely pass a sweeping House coronavirus relief bill this week. Majority Whip John Thune says that should be followed by other relief and stimulus measures. The Federal Reserve is creating a special fund to keep credit flowing in the U.S. economy. The central bank will buy significant amounts of commercial paper or short-term loans the businesses need to keep paying bills. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is activating the National Guard to help with the coronavirus response effort in order to mitigate the virus's spread. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
Lou Mandeville here with a look at sports. NFL is turning the league's 2020 draft into a 3-day fundraiser to help 6 charities dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. The draft-a-thon announced yesterday will benefit COVID-19 relief efforts and pay tribute to healthcare workers and first responders. On this date, April 9th, 1959, Boston Celtics sweep the Minnesota Lakers 4 games, first of Boston's record 8 straight titles. 1 year later, 1960, the Celtics beat the St. Louis Hawks 4 games to 3 in a much closer series. 1965 first game at the Astrodome in Houston. Astros beat the Yankees 2-1 in an exhibition as Mickey Mantle hits the first indoor home run. Great trivia question. I use it all the time. And in 1993, the Colorado Rockies, the first home game ever and their first victory, also an 11-4 win over the Montreal Expos. That is Look at Sports. From In Sports, I'm Lou Mandeville.
The state of Rhode Island has partnered with global software company Salesforce for a contact tracing initiative during the coronavirus crisis. The state says Salesforce is creating a secure database to allow the Rhode Island Department of Health and the National Guard to contact trace more efficiently.
Positive signs in the battle against the coronavirus. They say hospitalizations are down and the number of ventilators needed in New York City early in the week has been less than what was projected. However, they caution, just like Dr. Fauci, social distancing.
To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email at joe@onesockeradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and Panel on ON 1240, WOON One Socket Radio.
And that train wreck courtesy of NBC News Radio.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
I'm trying to figure out what happened. First they stopped talking, and then they're all over the place, and heaven knows. Sorry about that. We apologize backstage on behalf of the network, but we're on the air, and here he is, the moderator, Joe Callahan.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. Appreciate it. It is Thursday morning. It's April 9th, and it's time for Coffee In on ON, AM, and FM, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM. Joining me at the Coffee In virtual table is Bob Lotter, attorney Bob Lotter. Good morning to you, Bob.
Good morning. Good to hear you.
Bob's way off in the distance.
Well, Bob's telephone circuit is never that loud. I'll see what I can do about adjusting him.
All right, very good. And we expect to be joined a little later on this morning via the phone by Woonsocket Mayor Lisa Baldelli-Hunt. And we're also being joined at the moment by Henry Labonte from Labonte's Auto School. Good morning to you, Henry.
Good morning.
All right. Henry's a little soft today as well, but I think I can manage getting
Turn
through.
up your headphones. He's doing just fine. Okay.
Oh, okay. Very good. Henry.
I really like the Labonte's jingle that they have on the commercials.
Oh, yeah.
That is so cool. Especially
really?
Who's Ed?
We had so much fun doing it.
It is very clever, so nicely done. Who is Ed, by the way?
Oh, I don't remember. You asked me. I did this a long time ago. I don't remember who did it.
All right. Well, exciting news for you, Henry, from Labonte's Auto School. You were given the okay from Rhode Island and Massachusetts to hold online classes.
Yes, it's really nice because all of a sudden everything just stopped, and the kids who were waiting so patiently to get their license now can go online and we have a sign up for an online meeting, and they need a webcam, a speaker, and a microphone, and it's a fantastic program. We actually, instructor is doing exactly the same thing we do in class. They're lecturing, notes are taken, and we can see the student. The student can discuss things with us. We have a lot of give and take, and it's a very interesting concept. Yes, being totally computer illiterate, I am enjoying watching how it's done.
All right. Now, but before you could do that, you had to get permission from the state of Rhode Island and from Massachusetts before you could just.
And from Massachusetts.
Go to this?
Yes,
yeah.
Massachusetts came first. Massachusetts came up. They came up big, and then we went to Rhode Island, told them what we were doing in Massachusetts, and they came back and said, "Yeah, we think this is a great idea," and because it really is still interactive. You know, it's not something where they can just be sitting down doing nothing. They have to take notes. They take quizzes. And they participate. We can see them, which is kind of strange because you see people laying in bed taking notes. You know, it's not the way we used to teach. Not that they didn't sleep in our class, but this was going a little bit too far.
So, what department did you have to contact in Rhode Island and in Massachusetts to get this approval?
In Massachusetts, it's through the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Okay.
In Rhode Island, I did go to the Department of Motor Vehicles. They saw it, and they said they thought it was a fantastic thing, but I still needed the approval by the Department of Education. And they approve all driver's education programs. They've approved ours for the past 40-some-odd years, or 49 years, actually. So it was easy to get an approval.
How long did it take? A couple of weeks or less than that?
No, really. Once I sent out last Monday, I sent a certified letter out to the Department of Education, and that was on Monday, and by Friday we received the approval. So it was pretty fast because we had it all set up. We knew exactly what we were doing because we'd already been doing it in Massachusetts. So it made it very easy and to get the approval to do it in Rhode Island.
Okay. Now,
do you have any kind of hands-on driving tests or anything like that you take the kids out in the vehicle?
Oh, we do, yeah. Well, this is only for the classroom portion. Okay, this is 30 hours, or in Rhode Island, it's 33 hours of class. They must have those classes prior to getting a learner's permit. So they have to complete the classes in order to just take the permit test. But yes, we do. In Rhode Island, it's a little different in that, believe it or not, there's no required number of driving lessons in Rhode Island. They don't require it. Okay? If a student wants to get an insurance reduction or maybe learn how to drive without smashing up their father's car, they like to take driver's ed. But in Massachusetts, it's 12 hours of behind the wheel required, along with 6 hours observation. So it's quite a bit more difficult to get a license, or as far as more costly, I would say, more involved in Massachusetts than Rhode Island.
Massachusetts, the student still has to be 16 and a half as opposed to Rhode Island, which is still...
not necessarily 16 and a half. They both have to hold their permit for 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and the one weird part about Massachusetts, though, is they hold it for 6 months. They must also get 50 hours of driving or 40 hours of driving with their parents or someone over 21. And the one part I don't like about it is if they have an at-fault accident, then they lose their right to operate, and then they have to go through a whole bunch of other stuff. And I really don't like that because parents really don't know how to teach their kids how to drive, and sometimes kids run into, walls and stuff, unfortunately. They don't have dual control. But anyway, this is for the classroom, and it's working very well.
Okay.
I got a story to tell you about that, Henry. Our daughter Nicole, of course, she's in her 30s now, but my dad taught me to drive, and so I figured I was going to teach her how to drive. She took the usual instructions and things like that were required, but as far as the practice, we took her out to parking lots, went on old dirt roads, did all the things that I expected were necessary, and she was learning on an automatic. I learned on a standard, the 3-speed standard.
Sure.
On Green Street in Woonsocket, because I knew that's where the path was going to be for the driver's test. Coming up to Park Avenue, but trying not to burn the clutch much. As you turned on the Park Avenue. But anyway, so I thought things were going really well. She flunked her driving test.
Oh yeah.
And so we ended up having to go to you for instruction. And I thought
right?
You just made the point. Sometimes parents aren't the right ones to do it. I thought I was quite capable, but it didn't work out.
Well, driver's test, too, is so different. Kids, they sometimes they go there, and if they haven't practiced beforehand, the hour before, their mind is on, am I going to pass? Am I going to fail? What are my friends going to say if I fail? And they're not thinking about, well, should I look over my left shoulder before I pull away?
Right.
I think the idea of failing is more important than anything else, and that does affect how they act when they drive. But I think if any one of us took a driver's test, if we took like 15 of them, maybe one of them we might not do that well on.
Yeah.
Have a bad day.
It could happen. Yeah, even experienced drivers could flunk a driver's test.
Oh, they do. They do, because we do get experienced drivers that have to take them over again.
It's amazing. All right, well, Henry, I see that the mayor is calling in. Let's tie things up here with you and make sure that everybody gets the word. Make sure you give your phone number and the rest of that stuff.
Sure. Well, the best thing to do now is just to go on to Levante'sAutoschool.com. And they sign up right on. They go on Levante'sAutoschool.com. They look at the program that they like, and they sign up online. And we will send them an email with all the instructions on how to use the program, how to sign into the account, and how to make payments, etc. So everything is right there. They simply have to go to Levante'sAutoschool.com and choose what program they want.
That's great. Thanks, Henry.
Very, very flexible. Okay, thank you very much.
I tell you, one of the most advanced places, and you're going to do just fine through all these problems because you're being aggressive, you're marketing, you're changing with the times, and you're going to do just fine. And, of course, always one of the premier driving schools in our area. It's always been a pleasure to have you on the air. Thanks, Henry.
Well, thank you very much.
Take care now.
Goodbye.
Bye now.
All right. There goes Henry.
And now joining us via the phone is Woonsocket Mayor Lisa Baldelli-Hunt.
You think I could do it that fast?
Yes.
Well, your confidence is well-founded. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning. How are you, gentlemen?
I'm just fine, thanks. Having a wonderful time. How about you? You don't sound like you're smiling much this morning, Mayor.
Oh, you have to smile.
Well, yeah, you try.
That's right. You have to try to smile.
Fake it till you make it, huh?
That's it.
Mayor, say hi to Bob Lauder.
Oh, Robert, how are you?
Good to see you, Your Honor.
Yes,
Good,
I miss not being side by side with you over there.
Thank you.
So Bob, the courts are closed till May 17th.
I know.
Must give you
the governor has said that we're not essential. I find this so devastating that my wife is smirking in the corner and saying, hey, Bob, I told you that a long time ago.
So unless it's an emergency, then the courts will open. But they're closed until May 17th. So you got a lot of extra time on your hands, a lot of extra reading you're doing.
We're filling in the time. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, when you do have an emergency, basically it's going to be a virtual connection with a judge over a wire, isn't it?
Not necessarily. In the case of someone like a domestic abuse situation, someone is being threatened by someone who's living in the house with a husband or wife or something like that, they go directly down to the family court in Providence. That's the one that is still remaining open. They have volunteers there who will help the individual fill out the correct forms. They will take the individual before the judge, who would make an immediate decision on whether or not to grant a restraining order.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happens in an emergency. The teleconferencing that they were talking about in today's newscast was primarily for non-jury cases where both parties are agreeing that it can be done by teleconferencing, and they also can arrange to have it made available to the public. And that last part is going to be the part that I think may be the most difficult of all. I don't expect there's going to be a whole lot of things happening other than emergencies between now and the 7th of May.
And Bob, we continue to lose your signal. I've got you at full volume, and you're still fading.
I'm surprised.
So
I'm using a landline.
I just thought I'd mention it to you. Yes, landline, and the quality is good, but the volume is dipping. As you're talking, it's getting softer and softer. Just thought I'd point that out to you.
Thank you. I will shout.
All right. Mayor, so Mayor, are you wearing a mask right now? I mean, oh, wait a minute. I just realized what that sounds like. What are you wearing, Mayor? Are you? You know what I'm getting at.
So as I'm speaking with you,
Last
I
time
do
I
not
saw
have
you
a
in the
mask
newspaper,
on.
you were wearing a mask.
Yes. So for the most part, yes, I am wearing a mask. As I'm sitting at my desk speaking with you, I do not have a mask on.
Right,
but
because you're alone.
I am alone, and So there are times that I am wearing a mask. Of course, if you don't have a mask, a bandana, a kerchief, anything such as that is a good item to use in place of a elasticized mask. I know there's a lot of folks who are making very nice cloth masks, and
And what about those plastic shields you saw being made at Sheehan's?
The plastic shields, it is wonderful. When you think about the fact that we're taking a printer, third generation, I believe, printer in the city of Woonsocket, and they are retooling their manufacturing and making much-needed face shields. It's important for the healthcare workers and public safety officials to have all the protective equipment that they need. And the fact that oftentimes that equipment is not able to be used a second time, depending on the situation. So in this particular case, the Sheehan's have moved in a new direction. They're producing, manufacturing thousands of face shields. We got a first-hand look at how that's working, and it is a testament to the importance of manufacturing. I think over the years what's happened is people maybe sort of cast manufacturing aside, but recognize that manufacturing is what it's all about. And they're not the only ones in the city who have moved in a direction to help the public safety officials and frontline healthcare workers to produce what's needed. As you know, Hyman Brickell moved in a direction of producing face masks. They're producing face shields. Adent Scientific is added a line of hand sanitizer. So I know it's a little frustrating at times for folks who are not in the public safety and healthcare industry to find the items that they need at the stores and online. But what is happening is the majority of the production that's taking place is trying to put what's needed in the hands of those frontline workers in order to be certain that then when they're with patients that they're being protected. So kudos and really great thanks to the manufacturers. We have another manufacturer in the city who I connected with, RI Commerce, yesterday, and his thought is that he can move his production from his regular product over to hand sanitizer. So he is in talks with RI Commerce now. So we're hopeful that may be able to take place also.
That's nice.
Wow. Excellent. We have to take a break, first break here in the Coffee and program, but more is coming your way. If you have any comments or questions for the mayor, give us a call in at 766-1240. We'll pass it along to her, or you can email them in to me, joe@woonsocketradio.com.
These days, we all probably know of a local business that is struggling to adapt to the current realities. Here's a small way that you can help.
Announcing the Gift Card Challenge.
If you're able, think of your favorite local business and then buy a gift card today.
Buy it online or pledge to buy one as soon as you can.
Every little bit will help.
Restaurants have takeout or delivery. Many businesses have online shopping options.
Participate in the Gift Card Challenge today.
Buy a gift card.
Any amount and show your support for our local businesses in this time of need.
Keep it for yourself to use at a later date or pass it along to someone you know that's on the front lines doing what they can to keep us all safe.
Make the pledge and buy a gift card today.
Participate in the Gift Card Challenge.
Post and tag the business you selected on social media and challenge your friends and neighbors to do the same.
Working together, one card at a time, we can all make a difference.
This important message about supporting our local businesses is sponsored by iConnection Agency of North Smithfield. Visit them online at iConnectionRI.com. The Honey Shop on Winthrop Street and on Park Avenue, both in Woonsocket, are open. The Bellingham location is currently closed. Kathy and her staff remind you to be safe at this time. If you visit the Facebook page of The Honey Shop, you can read the Honey Shop Help Series. These are a series of helpful hints on how you can stay safe and healthy during the pandemic. The Honey Shop offers a number of natural health products, including Breathe, which can help with respiratory issues. Stop in today to either Woonsocket location to find out more. If you love food, you'll love the Honey Shop.
Well, no one's going out for Easter this year. However, Savini's Pomodoro Italian Kitchen and Bar wants you to have a delicious meal anyway. And they're offering Easter dinner catering meal to go that can serve up to 6 persons. Now, these meals include family-style chicken with salad rolls, ziti fries, and roasted potatoes for just $49.99 for 6 people. Or a ham dinner served with a pineapple raisin glaze with salad, rolls, and your choice of 2 sides for just $59.99. Or a stuffed pork loin with salad, rolls, and your choice of 2 sides for $59.99. You need to call Pomodoro by this Thursday, April 9th, so your meals will be ready for you to pick up on Easter Sunday. That's 401-762-5114. I'll repeat, 401-762-5114. 5114. Now, if you have a smaller dinner planned for Easter, Pomodoro has individual Easter dinners available for purchase, including bottles of wine. You can order your individual Easter dinner right up to Easter Sunday. But for the meal of 6, got to have it in by Thursday so they can make plans to have it ready for you. Be sure to go online to Savini'sPomodoro.com to see their entire Easter catering menu and Easter dinner menu. And call them at 401, here it comes again, 762-5114 to order your Easter meal today. Savini's Pomodoro Italian Kitchen and Bar on Rathbun Street in Woonsocket.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON Radio. ON Worldwide.
It is Coffee In on ON, AM, and FM, and this is Joe Callahan here with Woonsocket Mayor Lucio Baldelli-Hunt, and Bob Lauder is with us as well. So, Mayor, you are in your office at City Hall?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Overall, how are things holding up in the city during this situation?
Well, it's pretty much a 24/7 operation at this point. Public safety officials are engaged. Everything has been shifted over to the coronavirus and what we need to do on a daily basis. It's very fluid. It continually evolves. You come into the office thinking that you have at least the first couple of hours in place of what needs to happen, and it generally does not work that way. So these times are very different for everyone, and I really want to give great thanks to Chief Paul Chatraw, Director Gillette, Chief Tom Oates. Clearly, they're the 3 top-ranking public safety officials, and they have a couple of hundred men and women between them, and it has been a lot of boots on the ground. A lot of adjustments have been being made due to the fact that we need to shift gears and be certain that we're addressing the needs of what needs to take place.
How can you evaluate all of that? That sounds like a lot of different elements coming in.
It is a lot of elements because it's not just a matter of sitting back and waiting for someone to make a phone call to say, I have a question or I have a problem. So we are on a daily basis searching and working with other communities in the state on trying to be certain that our public safety officials have their N95s and their gob that they need for when they're called for service. We're working with folks who are struggling to get the food and groceries that they need. We have families who have suddenly become homeless. We have children who are trying to balance the online learning. We have folks calling us, asking us for help with that. We're working in conjunction with the school department. We're also needing to follow the executive orders of the governor, and that takes a lot of time of the public safety officials. We are on calls each day. All the mayors and town administrators have a set call each day, which generally turns into follow-up calls. We also have a call with the governor's office each day, so we're getting updated each day on what's taking place, how we need to, move in a different direction or a slightly different direction, and that's what we're doing. What this brings to is it brings gatherings of more than 5 where our public safety officials are getting called out to take care of that. Oftentimes, they'll call my office, but actually calling the police department, it'll move along quicker because it's just an added phone call calling here. Not that I mind getting the calls, but if there is an issue and it is police-related, the director and the chief prefer that those calls go directly to the station so a dispatcher can get someone out sooner. So it is very, very, very active right now. But we're doing what we need to do to keep the residents of the city of Woonsocket safe, and it has been falling into place up until now. So I really want to give thanks to all the partners who are helping with this.
I was very impressed with that big ad you had in the paper 2 days ago regarding the food distribution. That was amazing.
Right. So again, we're working in conjunction with Aging Well and the Rhode Island Food Bank, Meals on Wheels. Director Plays is the point person on that portion of the COVID-19. So everyone's broken up into an area where they're the point person on making certain things are moving. So between Meals on Wheels and food distribution and the needs of the seniors and the disabled, all of that is also being coordinated. So it is a huge undertaking, but fortunately I have very strong staff, and the employees of the city of Woonsocket have truly been engaged and helping on any front that they can, whether or not it falls within the department that they work in. People are volunteering to step up and do other things just to keep government working, and that's the goal. Because as much as many businesses as you see that are being closed by executive order of the state of Rhode Island, 3 things are not closing: manufacturing, industrial, and government. We need government to stay operational, because if government isn't operational, then we have a serious problem on our hands. We do not have our City Hall employees who are moving forward with tax collection, payroll, supplies, all the things that our public safety officials need, our highway department needs. Our highway workers are still out there. There's been an uptick in litter because of the amount of people who are home. If people could, if people are looking to do something, they want a little bit of fresh air, call our superintendent of solid waste. He'll deliver a picker to you, so you can go out there with the picker, the litter picker, and do some cleaning up of the city, get a little fresh air at the same time, and help us out with that. So there's been a shift in all the departments.
It seems to be running remarkably smoothly, though. It's well under control.
Right. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to be certain that what we're doing is giving the residents of Woonsocket the sense and understanding that everything is moving, government is working, healthcare, public safety is in place, everyone is ready, and as things evolve and as things change, we adjust, but we have a very good handle, and we have been preparing for months. This has not been something that we've just been working on over the last 4 weeks. We've been working in conjunction with Landmark Medical Center prior to the governor's executive orders. They're our partner. They're our partner in healthcare, and I really want to thank them, the workers and the senior staff there. We have developed a wonderful working relationship with them, and it's encouraging to see what we can accomplish when we all work together. And you also have to recognize what's important at this time. What's important is what we're doing now. Other things can wait. Things that are not critical, things that are not going to have an impact or make a difference, for the sake of us keeping the city of Woonsocket safe and moving forward, put those small things aside for now.
Okay. Mayor, are you is City Hall still getting calls every day of people saying, I need food, and how can you help? How can they help them? Are you getting calls on a daily basis?
Oh, absolutely. It's daily. Yeah. It's emails. It's phone calls. Mm-hmm. And those calls or emails go to multiple people. So, sometimes they'll decide to email me. Sometimes they'll decide to email Director Plays or another department that might be, it might need to be redirected. But this is I can say that we are a well-oiled machine, and we are certain that everything is in place. But like I said, things are changing on a daily basis, and as things change, we amend and we adjust.
Very good. So if someone is in need of food, I'm thinking of an elderly shut-in at this time, what number should they call to say, hey, I need help as well, if they haven't done so already?
Yes, they should call Director Plays at 767-9282, 767-9282. And Linda is working in conjunction, like I said, with Aging Well, the Rhode Island Food Bank. Barbara Waterman heads up Aging Well, Meals on Wheels, and it's going extremely well. But we also know that there are some seniors who live in their own home, or they may live in an apartment in the city. They are not aware that they are able to get what they need. If they're listening, we do not want you to go without. We will do what we need to do to get you what you need.
Very good.
Excuse me, this is Dave. We had a message, question called in for the mayor. Joe, can we read that now?
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
All right. Mayor, a lady called into the switchboard here at the station and asked, where can you go now to pay your tax bills in person? They don't mail it to Providence because they've had bad experiences with that. They always go and drop it off at City Hall when they pay their taxes. But that means they have to go through the front doors and into the building, and we understand that's not possible now. How will this lady work things out?
She can mail her check to 169 Main Street, and we're still getting our mail.
Oh, I see. So she doesn't have to go to the lockbox in Providence necessarily.
No, she can put her stub and her check or money order in the envelope, and she can mail it in to 169 Main Street, or we also have a P.O. box, and it'll come here. We're still getting our mail each day. Or what she could do is she could take the envelope, and we have a very large locked and secured box that is between the doors in the assessor's office. So the exterior doors will open, and she can come in and she can place it in that box.
Oh, that's nice.
Either way.
That's nice. So you're not really going inside the building, but you're
correct.
Going to a locked and secured box. That's good.
Yes, so that was a good question. So I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, I need to get in my vehicle to begin to drive somewhere. So if I could call you back in a few minutes once I get into my vehicle.
Well, your timing is perfect. We have a break coming up.
Okay, there we go.
That works out well. Okay, we'll talk
to you later, Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Time for a break on the Coffee and program, and time for a look at the forecast being sponsored by CVS. Today, cloudy skies, showers, possibly a thunderstorm later this afternoon. Some of the storms could produce heavy rain. High temperature today will be near 58. Winds could gust today as high as 33 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy skies, scattered showers as well. Gradually becoming clear tonight with a low temperature around 37. Still windy, though. Wind gusts as high as 47 miles per hour. Friday's forecast, we are looking at scattered showers, mainly in the afternoon. We'll have increasing clouds with a high temperature near 50. Friday night, partly cloudy, low around 34. Saturday, mostly sunny, high near 51. Sunday, mostly sunny, and a high near 57. And currently, outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. Dave, what temperature do we have?
It is 48 degrees, Joe.
Thank you very much. More coffee and coming your way. Stay tuned.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join.
I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Rhode Island Army National Guard. Aired by the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association and this station.
When it comes to emergency service for plumbing and heating, you can't beat C.J. Nemus, 37 Corey Street in Woonsocket. C.J. Nemus offers over 15 years of experience and is licensed in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. C.J. Nemus offers complete heating system service, plumbing, water heaters, plus drain and sewer cleaning. Remember that senior citizens receive a 10% discount. So give Charlie a call today at C.J. Nemus, 769-4776. They're registered with the Better Business Bureau. They're a master plumber with quality service. It's the only way and the best way. With C.J. Nemus, call today, 769-4776 for C.J. Nemus.
Hello, this is Manny Brando.
And this is Virginia. And Manny, now you have to start getting up a half hour earlier because our show is going to begin at 8:30 until 9:30.
I can't get up that early. 8:30 to 9:30. Oh,
That
no.
is correct. That is our new time slot.
I'm confused.
What else is new?
Oh, boy.
Coffee in on ON AM and FM, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM. This is Joe Callahan, along with attorney Bob Lauder. And Bob, time for a first message from your law office, please.
Thank you. Good morning. As these perilous times bring more anxiety to our lives, I'd like to suggest that one can avoid some of the financial stress by talking with either a credit counselor or an attorney. We know that all of us remain obligated to perform those contracts into which we entered in the past. We have the obligation of paying our rent, the obligation of paying our mortgage. However, the diminution of our income as a result of the COVID-19 economic shutdown may make fulfilling these obligations very difficult. We may have to make decisions as to who gets paid now and who gets paid later. A credit counselor or an attorney can review the bills and financial obligations which you have and can evaluate the ability of the creditor to enforce immediate payment or to withdraw services. A counselor or an attorney can make recommendations concerning the sequence in which creditors get paid, who it is essential to pay, and who can be delayed. And a counselor or attorney can discuss and try and negotiate payment plans to accommodate the income which has been dramatically reduced due to the COVID-19 pandemic. If you think my office may be of assistance to you in this or other legal matters, please call me for a telephone conference. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer, the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob, thank you. And Dave, just let us know when the mayor has returned to the phone lines, okay?
Yeah, I'll keep it a secret.
Yeah, keep it amongst yourselves over there. Bob, a question for you. Can you just speak to the fact that it's actually illegal right now to for any evictions to take place?
It's not illegal for an eviction to take place, but the procedure would be almost impossible. In order to evict a tenant under the present law of the state of Rhode Island, and I don't know what the law is in Massachusetts, an individual has to be at least 15 days late in paying their rent. And when that takes place, the landlord then sends something called a 5-day demand letter, which says you have to pay in 5 days or I'm going to start eviction proceedings. If the tenant doesn't pay within the 5 days, the landlord can then file a petition in the court and ask that the case come before the court and the landlord be awarded possession of the apartment and back rent. However, right now, the court is not scheduling any of those cases until at least the 17th of May, and it may be later than that. So the ability of a landlord to actually enforce payment right now is very limited. It's not going to be considered an emergency basis. Yes.
Bob, there was a news story I read I couldn't believe that there was on record some landlords who were just going and changing locks and dispossessing people. And I said to myself, well, Bob Larder always taught me that a landlord can never evict somebody. A landlord can only ask the court to do so.
The court has to give an order that would be called an execution that would put a tenant out of an apartment. The landlord does not have the right to change locks on an apartment without a court order. A landlord cannot move the people's possessions out of the apartment. The landlord cannot turn off the heat or the electricity or the water or any of the other services that he would normally be providing to the tenant. It has to continue on the same way as it is, and the only relief the landlord can get is through the court system.
That doesn't mean people don't do it, though, Bob.
Yeah, but they get in trouble for it, don't they?
If a landlord were to attempt to do that, my recommendation to the tenant would be to immediately call the police.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, you would, and that's great advice. But as the tenant, they're probably scared, and they probably don't know what their rights probably are.
That very well could be true.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
that's why we're still considered. We're not non-essential according to the governor, but we're still considered essential in some regards for at least advice. And
that's right.
You can call me or call any other attorney in this area. They'll get good advice.
All right. Very good. So it's actually today, Bob. Today's a sad day. Do you know why?
Well, let's see. Sports are virtually non-existent.
You got it right away, right at the first shot. Today was supposed to be opening day for the Pawtucket Red Sox. Now they probably wouldn't have played tonight because the weather forecast looks awful. But today was supposed to be the opening day at McCoy Stadium for their final season at McCoy, and maybe it won't be their final season because who knows what's going to happen. They've stopped building the ballpark in Worcester. And maybe that ballpark is not ready to go a year from now, and maybe some games will still be played at McCoy in 2021.
Well, that'll be good for Pawtucket. That'll bring some income back to Pawtucket. Yes.
It'll give you a few more chances to get out there, Bob, and enjoy a game. Have you ever gone to a game at McCoy?
I have, because I have been invited to games at McCoy by WOON when they've had their special broadcast.
Oh, okay.
They're ON nights down there. Yes.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. Did you know what was going on?
I fortunately had my wife with me who was able to give me guidance. She is much more of a sports fan than I am. She and her good friend Connie used to go to watch the real Red Sox in Boston at Fenway Park. But
okay.
I get some good advice that way.
All
and
right.
then Denise and Dave were there, and they sort of clued me in on what was supposed to happen.
Oh, okay.
He's not as inept as he sounds, Joe, but it is amusing. So anyway, gentlemen, let me just poke my head in here and remind everyone the mayor has returned to the telephone circuit for us, and it's nice to have the mayor back on. And I have a question for her right away.
Okay, shoot, Dave.
All right, Lisa, it's like this. Someone called the switchboard and asked, the trash picking tool that you talked about, what is the number to get one?
That would be 767-9216.
9216. Very good. And ask for the trash picking tool that the mayor talked about on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Thanks so much.
Now, Mike, that's Michael DeBroyce's number, although Michael DeBroyce is on the road today, so you may need to leave a message.
It's all right. We can understand that if you have to leave a message.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get one to you as soon as he possibly can.
That's right. He'll be happy to. Trust me. Which makes gives me a little reminder here to myself that I wanted to remind the residents of the city that we have the curbside pickup that began on Monday for the leaf and brush. So if you are out there in the nicer weather and you're raking and picking up all the broken twigs and things, we began that again on April 6th. So
I'm
when you're
so
filling
glad.
those bags, yes.
Mayor, I can't tell you how
service.
grateful I am that the city does that. Because, when we raised our family out in Pascoag, I mean, there was a place in the back of the lot that you could put the composting and things. Don't have that here in the city. And what a wonderful thing it is that you pick up the grass clippings. And if you look out there, the grass needs mowing already.
I know it does. It really does. And, that's a service that Woonsocket includes. There's not an extra cost for it. It's all built into what you already pay. And not every community offers that. And that is something that, on occasion, we'll have new residents that will come in and they'll buy a home, and then they learn a few things. They learn, oh, you don't have a fire tax, and you actually pick that up. We don't have to pay so much a bag to have the brown paper bags picked up. So there's some things that are offered in the city that they may be offered in other cities or towns, but they're not necessarily offered across all 39 cities and towns. And this is something that I think is a really nice service that we have. So just as a reminder that those bags are, or if you have it in a barrel, just be certain that the barrel is marked clearly that it's yard waste, and that is picked up on the same day that you have your trash collection.
And how long does it last, Mayor? How long do you go with this program that just started a couple of weeks ago?
Right, so we do it twice a year. So this one starts April 6th, and it goes until June something. Because I'm driving, I can't look, but It does go until June. So I will certainly be talking to you again prior to that, but you can rest assured it's all of April, all of May, and we're finding that we're at both ends of the spectrum. We have an uptick in trash and litter, but we also have an uptick in people getting out and cleaning their yards earlier than normal, which is great because people are home. They're not going too far now these days. So they're out there doing their yard work a little earlier, which is wonderful, and their bags are getting picked up. But keep in mind, the brown bags, one of the problems that solid waste has is when those bags get wet, they fall apart, and then you end up with all your leaves and branches back all over your sidewalk. So try not to put them out on the sidewalk until it's time to put your trash out, because if your trash collection is a Wednesday and then on Friday you put leaf bags out, they're going to sit till the next Wednesday, and if it rains, it sort of defeated a lot of the work that you've already done.
Okay. Mayor, in terms of the COVID-19 situation, are you informed by the hospital or nursing homes how many cases are in Woonsocket, or are you informed by the state how many cases are in each city and town?
So we are informed by the state, and so there's a bit of an important information. So if an individual is brought to, I'll give an example, to Landmark, and that individual tests positive for COVID-19, that is not considered a Woonsocket case unless the person lives in Woonsocket. So if they're transported in from Lincoln or North Smithfield, because the test was determined in Woonsocket, does not count as a Woonsocket case. So any positive case aligns with the community that the person lives in.
I see. Do you know of any cases that are at Landmark at this time?
I do not. Each day our number is adjusted, and I've got a lot of numbers in my head right now, but I believe we are at 25 positive cases. That was as of yesterday. I'd have to look at the breakdown that I have on my iPad. So we are much lower than the other urban communities, but that should not be a reason to let our guard down, because clearly there are people who work in our community or come to our community from another city or town, and COVID-19 does not know boundaries, does not know city lines. So you can be working with someone who is positive, but they just haven't learned that they're positive yet. So keeping those guidelines that we've been has been embedded into our brains about keeping your hands away from your eyes, away from your nose, away from your mouth, continually washing your hands, wiping down surfaces, using a disinfectant on your light switches and your doorknobs, and anything you're touching, your computers, your keyboards, your mouses, your remote control, your cell phone, all of those things need to be sanitized on a regular basis, daily and multiple times a day.
Good advice, Mayor. All right, we're going to take our final break here on the Coffee and program. So, Bob, it's time for a second message from your law office, please.
Thank you. Good morning. The social distancing and quasi-quarantine, which are being imposed as a form of protection from the COVID-19 virus, have reduced the contact we have with all forms of business. The big mall stores we used to frequently are closed. Our favorite restaurants are providing food only on a takeout basis. And the governor of the state of Rhode Island has deemed that the services of attorneys are not essential enough to warrant keeping our offices open at this time. That doesn't mean, however, that the services you might formerly have discussed across the mahogany desk have ceased. It just means the manner of communication and discussion will not presently be face-to-face. In planning, in which you all should engage in our lifetime, for instance, the planning of relationships with others, the preparation of estate plans to administer our assets following our death, plans to execute powers of attorney to permit others to handle our financial assets or to make medical decisions upon our own if we're not able to do it, even plans concerning prenuptial agreements in advance of marriage, or plans concerning divorce when those marriages fail to work out. All of this can still be done through the means of telephone and computer contact. And now, more than ever before, some of these plans, such as estate planning, should be very seriously considered. If you think my office may be assistance to you in this or other legal matters, please telephone me for a conference. My telephone number is 762-4550. My name is Bob Lauder. And the disclaimer. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob, thanks. And more of Coffee In is coming your way. We still have time for your comments or questions to the mayor. Call them in at 762-1240 or email them in to me, joe@woonsockeradio.com.
Gotta Smokehouse Barbecue is currently closed, but you can still have their delicious barbecue. Just order ahead with your credit card either by phone or go online. A Gotta Smokehouse Barbecue team member will bring your food to you when you arrive. Mike at Gotta Smokehouse Barbecue thanks all his patrons for their continued support as we get through this crisis together. Don't forget, Gotta Smokehouse Barbecue gift cards can be purchased. Gotta Smokehouse Barbecue in the Sierra Plaza, Mendon Road, Cumberland.
I'm here with Kara Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency. Kara, tell me about your agency.
Sure. We started our agency from scratch, which means we opened with no customers. We have grown because of all the family, friends, and locals that supported us over the years. We are proudly woman-owned and operated since 2006. We're a family business, mother and daughter team, so you get two different generations coming together to get the best of both worlds.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Our business is truly a referral business, and we have built it based on our premier service level and commitment to what we do. If you are looking for personalized service with people who care, that would be us.
These days, we all probably know of a local business that is struggling to adapt to the current realities. Here's a small way that you can help.
Announcing the Gift Card Challenge.
If you're able, think of your favorite local business and then buy a gift card today.
Buy it online or pledge to buy one as soon as you can.
Every little bit will help.
Restaurants have takeout or delivery. Many businesses have online shopping options.
Participate in the gift card challenge today.
Buy a gift card.
Any amount and show your support for our local businesses in this time of need.
Keep it for yourself to use at a later date or pass it along to someone you know that's on the front lines doing what they can to keep us all safe.
Make the pledge and buy a gift card today.
Participate in the gift card challenge.
Post and tag the business you selected on social media and challenge your friends and neighbors to do the same.
Working together, one card at a time, we can all make a difference.
This important message about supporting our local businesses is sponsored by Arpin Travel Services of Bellingham. Visit them online at arpintvl.com.
It is the Coffee and Program on ON Radio, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards. We're also here with Woonsocket Mayor Lisa Baldelli-Hunt, and Attorney Bob Lauder is with us as well. Mayor, are you still getting phone calls at City Hall about large gatherings of people? I'm thinking mostly at the parks.
We receive calls at City Hall, generally my office, or at the police department. We have a detail that is working in the city, hearing, loud noises in apartments, thinking that there's a party, and anything like that. So, we have an obligation to make certain that the quote-unquote big box stores or grocery stores do not have more than what they should be having in for the percentage that's allowed. If I happen to lose you folks, I'm getting into a bit of a bad area. So,
okay.
But yes, so to answer your question, we do have a police detail that is doing that and making certain that we are following the orders that were put in place pertaining to the 5-person limit in some places, and then the percentage of the percentage limit within the stores.
Okay. We had Woonsocket Police Chief Tom Oates on the Coffee and Program at the beginning of the week, and I was glad to hear that the patrols that are on bicycles have started up again now that the nicer weather has started to arrive. And I think that's going to go a long way into breaking up any kind of large group gatherings, especially at World War II Park or Cass Park or any other parks in the city. With the police, they'll be able to get to the groups a lot easier on their bicycles.
Right. Bicycle patrol, motorcycle, bringing back our motorcycle, bringing back our canine. Those were all things that I felt were important to our city that we did not have when I became mayor. And I had a conversation with Chief Carey at the time, Chief Oates, when he came in, and indicated to them that we needed to do and we needed to work through what needed to take place in order for us to bring back our bike patrol, bring back motorcycles, and to get a canine as part of the team at WPD. And we've done all three things.
Yeah.
And they're working out very, very well.
Lisa, I saw 2 police officers on bicycles on Park Avenue yesterday as I drove to a place.
Yes. They're 8 square miles. You're going to find them all over the place.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa, at what time is there a specific time that all the mayors and the town administrators get together with the governor every day, where you have to call in at a certain time? Okay, I think we lost her.
Well, that can happen. She was mobile.
Yep. So okay, she'll call back. So, are you still there, Bob?
Yes, I am.
All right, fantastic. This is actually a serious question, Bob, and because we joked about it, over the last couple of weeks. But have you seen an uptick yet? Any people looking to you for your services as a lawyer for divorce cases, or is it still too early?
I think it's still too early on that. And with regard to things like restraining orders, people can get those on their own. They don't need to come to a lawyer. In fact, I would suggest that if someone was in that kind of a crisis situation, go into the family court on your own and just get it done quicker. No, the uptake in divorce action, not yet. No,
not yet. Okay, all right. Let's give it another couple of weeks. I hope that it doesn't
exactly come forward, but according to the reports out of China, they had an increase in the number of divorce cases over there following the institution of the pandemic. So it probably will happen here too.
Well, they were sheltered in place for a lot longer over there in China, so we haven't hit that mark just yet. So, but I was just wondering if anything happened. But on the good side, you're not hearing a lot of stories right now about domestic abuse, and I thought that would go up with all the quarantining going on. But you don't hear too much about it just yet.
Actually, there was a news broadcast that indicated there had been more complaints lodged at the police departments in Rhode Island in the last few weeks than there had been before. I think that domestic violence is, in fact, increasing to some degree.
Hello, Lisa. This is Dave Richards.
Dave? All right. Bob, you still there?
He left us too. Okay.
All right. Okay, so
You
I guess he talked to her off the air before. He made sure everything was okay with her phone situation. So
I was just trying to get back in touch with her, because we have her callback number. I didn't realize I still had my microphone on, but I had to leave a message because it didn't answer. It went to voicemail.
Okay.
So we hope that the mayor's okay and everything is okay. But these things happen with cell phones all the time, especially when you're moving.
Yep. All right. And as we know, with the pandemic going on, liquor stores have not closed, and consumption of alcohol has actually gone up quite a bit.
I'm laughing because I'm thinking about Charlie Baker.
Yeah, well, that's right. And he says,
what part of this don't you get, folks? Nobody comes flooding into Massachusetts because our liquor stores are open. But just watch and see what happens if we open up the pot places.
Well, that's right. He's steadfast in keeping the recreational marijuana places closed. However, nationwide, though, according to a recent study, marijuana use hit a record high last month because millions of Americans were forced to stay home because of the coronavirus outbreak. It's a survey by U.S. consumers conducted by Cowen and Company, shows marijuana sales rose sharply in mid-March. Sales growth peaked at 64% for the week of March 16th, right about the same time the country began to shut down to help slow the spread of COVID-19. Survey also found the percentage of consumers using cannabis who are working full-time dropped to 42%, a bigger decline than the general population. So I'm actually not surprised by that, of course, but because people, they're just looking for something to do, Bob. And if we run out of alcohol, well, maybe we'll try this.
Well, my wife has gone through the photographs and identified everybody that we know from back in time, and she found the leisure suit in the closet that I can wear with the mullet that I'm now growing. So there's still stuff to do around the house.
If you can you still fit into the leisure suit?
I would doubt it.
Is that the lime green one I saw you in?
No. This is the yellow one.
Oh, okay.
It's even more.
It was
remarkable.
It was
remarkable.
Really,
that's one way of putting it.
It was.
Guys, I have a message that was called in. Unfortunately, the mayor's call dropped off unexpectedly. I'm sure for all of us. But she didn't even get a chance to say goodbye or anything. But someone did call in, and in case the mayor is catching this now or catching the replay, or anyone else in the city, maybe even Chief Oates, the suggestion from the audience was to take the radar speed device. I think that they mean the little trailer that shows what your speed is that we see on Clinton Street so frequently to get us to slow down after the straightaway before we get to Kennedy Manor. But they're saying I believe that's what they're talking about. They said they could be put somewhere on Park Avenue. That's one way of doing it.
Okay. I think I've seen it on Park Avenue. Not a lot.
I thought I did too. I'm glad you said that, but I wasn't sure of my memory.
I remember seeing it. Usually it's there in the summertime, but not as much as you see it on Clinton Street or possibly Social Street. But a couple of times I have seen it out there. Not recently though.
I think one of the reasons they may not place it on Park Avenue that often is because on Social Street area it's a one-way street, and there's plenty of room for a car to pass by it without going into the lane of an opposite coming car. Park Avenue is a little narrower and has two-lane traffic.
Good point.
All right, we come to the end of the program, so we want to say our thank yous to Woonsocket Mayor Lisa Baldelli-Hunt, who was able to join us for a little while this morning via the phone. We want to thank Henry Labonte from Labonte's Auto School, who also joined us by phone earlier today.
I just wanted to point out, too, that the mayor doesn't have to make these visits to the station. She clearly inconvenienced herself to a certain extent to be with us this morning, and we're very appreciative.
Yes, we are. All right, Bob Latta, thanks for coming. Thanks for phoning in today.